Hello everyone and welcome to the Melbourne Championships powered by JOOLA. My name's Adam Hall. Sitting alongside me is Dylan Kimlin. Dylan, welcome to the broadcast. We're about to commence play with a bronze medal match. Tell us about our matchup.
Yeah, g'day everyone. PPA Tour Australia about to get cracking in this very windy day here in Melbourne. So currently on court we have the gentleman warming up. We've got Joey Wild closest to our camera and he's up against Kenta Miyoshi. For our viewers at home, you're probably well accustomed with Joey Wild. He just continually ends up on our podium matches. But Kenta Miyoshi is a name that's starting to become a little bit more common in our pickleball scene in our part of the world, the Japanese superstar. He played in Vietnam in probably one of the most electric live games I've ever watched. It was a single semi-final and the crowd were nuts. So that was an absolute ripper. Don't make any mistake, ladies and gentlemen. He can play. And I reckon it's going to be a tight one against Joey Wild. We've got official Kelvin on the sidelines. He's unfortunately got the breeze in his face. To me, Adam, this is really going to come down to who can play in these windy conditions. But you know Joey Wild through and through, mate. And yeah, what are your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, look, it's going to be really exciting to see Joey play. He's just come off a loss against Tom Evans, and what a match that was. Tom got it done in 2 games, but the game was very, very close. And on court time, looking at their pathway through to this bronze medal match, Kenta has played 1 extra game to get here. So I don't know if that'll be too telling. However, he only got the call up to come to Melbourne 2 days ago. He arrived yesterday.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. He is a substitute in the Major League Pickleball Australia format. So for him, he obviously got here. He was like, well, if I'm here, I'm going to play. Ends up at a shot for a medal. It's amazing. I do really like the story of Kenta. I think he's a good success story for our events. And yeah, I think this is not going to be a walkover for Joey Wild at all.
Not at all, and I really think that Kenta is going to push him around the court. This will be my first time seeing him play live. Obviously saw him play on the stream, the fabulous broadcast from Vietnam, and what a championship tournament that one was, Dylan. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, and it's quite funny because the reoccurring comment that I keep hearing from all of our players, like you guys at home can see me wearing a beanie. It's cold here in Melbourne at the moment, so we've gone from stifling heat in Vietnam to with high humidity, constant like thunderstorms, to here where the wind is outrageous and it's quite cool. I think it was just over 10 degrees a little bit earlier when I checked. So for the heat aspect of things, the players are not concerned at all. I had a really good chat with Ryan Henry, the absolute superstar he is, and he did talk about the singles format in colder weather compared to the heat. He actually thinks the singles playing in cold actually suits less fit players.
Okay.
Because if you're a absolute phenomenal athlete, you want it to be hot because you know your opposition's going to get tired quicker.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe a little bit of age might have come into that for Ryan as well. I won't mention his age, but he's one of the older participants in Major League Pickleball and obviously one of our stars for the Western Vipers. We're looking forward to Major League Pickleball kicking off this afternoon, but looks like players are heading to the baseline here. Joe Wild is going to be serving. Kenta to receive. Bronze medal at the Melbourne Championships.
Yeah, and we are using the traditional scoring format for this, ladies and gentlemen. 3 games to 11, win by 2. The players will rotate at 6. Should we get to a third? Joey Wild taking first points on the board. Wow. That is an outrageous angle from Joey Wild. And we did see a lot of cat and mouse play style between him and Evans in their last game. Expect plenty of shots like that because that was very much the same in the former one. The turn goes long, and this is a good little burst here for Joey Wild.
3-0.
And just maybe a bit of a favourable net roll there. You could just hear that audibly through the microphone. But Joe Wild, he's on a hot run here. I mean, And it's maybe too early to call for a timeout, but it is 4-0 now, Dylan.
Yeah, and I do wonder how these guys are going to go. Obviously, Kenta just went down in his last game against Jason Taylor, who will be playing in our gold medal. Whereas Joey went down to Tom Evans quite a while ago. So Joey's probably had a bit more time to reflect upon his game and the wind.
And that one's just called long there by Kenta.
Point.
And we'd love to give you an indication of which direction the breeze is going, folks, but we don't know it. It's very, very swirly.
1-4. Side out.
And Joey Wild really working the angles there, going right to left. The breeze will have something to say in this match, I can guarantee it, folks.
4-1. Side out.
Has he got a hat sponsor yet? I don't even know how he's rocking that in this wind.
Well, we did see that he changed to a baseball cap.
And there was immediate complaints from the crowd when he did.
There was Bronx cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was some lovely resetting from the baseline there for Kenta. 2 in a row, simply exquisite.
I will say in his former game against Evans, we did see quite a few balls from Wild go out on that right side. But as you mentioned, the wind is all over the place. So the players are got to figure out whether to hit it far or not and run the risk of hitting it out.
Point.
Joe Wild there, he had strong control over that rally. He's very keen to come in upon that serve return. But Kenta seems to be getting it done at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit of a momentum burst here for Miyoshi, and it's a solid one because, as you mentioned, it was a bit of a
4-4.
dangerous start for Kenta, but he's bounced back.
Point.
Just a bit sluggish there by the looks, Joey Wild. After such a hot start, just lost his way a little bit here.
5-4.
I was about to say, Adam, it almost feels like Miyoshi slowed his game down, going for the whole precision over power. In that aspect, he makes the error on the fast attempt.
4-5.
And I reckon that ball might have actually been going long and wide. It's probably saved him there.
Side out.
You can see in singles, you know, that serve return, it gives you the
5-4.
ascendancy to come into the net. We haven't seen a dinking battle yet where both players have been at the net.
Side out.
I was a bit worried there. Unfortunately, it did go long for Kenta, but this wind is so unpredictable.
We're, of course, at the Frankston Centenary Tennis Club. Magnificent facilities here down in Frankston. Some brand new pickleball courts have recently been surfaced. We are using the pickle roll here for our show courts, however, with our fabulous JOOLA nets, of course. PPA Tour Australia powered by JOOLA.
5-4.
Oh, Joey Wild strikes. Great shot. You asked for that dinking play style, Adam. There you go.
Yeah, we finally got both players into the net there. You started to see them move each other side to side. It's a nice little touch there from Joey Wild. I thought he was going to go down the line. He changed the direction back into the kitchen. Both players with some remarkable touch.
Four, 5. Side out. 5-4. Side out.
Both players.
Just getting a bit lucky there was Joey Wild.
4-5.
Oh,
Side
that was
out.
awfully close. There was actually a play earlier today on this same corner, Adam, where Zhao Yi Wang Bakfal got one of the most ridiculous ATPs I've
5-4.
seen and just somehow managed to curl it around, and the wind definitely came into play. So we might see some crazy shots break out as someone goes long.
Side out.
Both players on a rut here. 5-4.
4-5.
Not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I am somewhat excited to see some of the shots that the wind's going to help procure,
Line out.
to be honest, Dylan. And we're in a rut here, folks. It's been 5-4, advantage to Kenta for about 3 side outs now.
5-4. Side out.
Well left there by Joey Wild, wasn't it? You saw he was pretty keen to hit a forehand back towards Kenta's feet, but smartly let that one go long.
I do wonder if
4-5.
the first player to get some points on the board here will really sort of break the seal.
And
Side
that's
out.
some wicked touch there at the kitchen line for Kenta.
5-4. Side out.
And a side out again, Dylan. It's just back to back to back to back side outs here. The tricky conditions. Both players
4-5.
have been on a run, consecutive points. Now it's about who's going to get the next one. Oh, and just goes long
Side out.
after setting himself up so well. Kenta letting that ball go long, and Joe Wild just looks to the heavens.
Yeah, and there's that corner again. I think that's 2 balls already out that have gone to that back right corner for Joey Wild. Unfortunate. It was a great play.
5-4. Side out.
And another side out, Dylan.
I think the fellas are just being accommodating for all our other players here, as it is about lunchtime here
4-5.
in Melbourne. So the gentlemen are like, all right, guys, we'll just take our time. And you can all tuck into some food. Oh, it was
Side
there.
out.
Not often do you see Joey Wild mess up at the volley battle.
Well, as the sun's coming out now, Dylan, and let me tell you, I wouldn't mind it being a tad
5-4.
warmer.
Yep.
I think for the fitter players, they would like it too. So sorry, Ryan Henry, it might be getting a bit hotter as we speak.
Side out.
It's going to be exciting to see how Kenta continues to play. I mean, obviously,
4-5.
last minute call up, come all the way over from Japan. That's a beautiful shot there, Dylan
Point.
Kimlin.
That's a classic Joey Wild shot. And I think, dare I say it, with this windy conditions, both players are playing a little bit tentative. They're clearly concerned of the out ball, but that there from Joey Wild is him when he's confident in his stroke. And finally,
5-5.
we're off 4-5.
Side out.
It didn't last long.
No.
All right, Kenta, it's your turn. Joey got 1 point.
5-5.
Oh, what a setup there by
Side
Joey
out.
Wild. He just went continually to that left-hand side of the court. He got right on the line there, and Kenta popped that one up. You would have seen him licking his lips front on there, and he just went with the overhead. Nice put away there for Joey Wild.
5-5. Side out.
A bit of a wayward shot there to the left-hand side of the court where he just had a little bit of success, Dylan.
I do have to wonder, Kenta's been on 5 points for what? Like a lot of time.
5-5.
We did have a good run. He, 5 consecutive points after Joey started really hot with 4 consecutive points to start the match. So he fought back well. Game hasn't gone out of hand yet, but that one looks like it might have found the line. It has too. Fantastic shot there by Kenta, especially into the wind.
Keep in mind for our viewers at home, remember to follow the PPA Tour Australia
6-5.
on all of the socials. Constant updates for our event here in Melbourne. Oh, there we go.
Point.
That's a confident strike from Miyoshi.
Well, that was a beautiful forehand. Had so much whip. Got it in the mid-court range. Great touch there. Maybe a little bit of wind assistance there. It does feel like now that the breeze is coming sort of across court, but more so from the back of Joey Wild on camera here. Ball's just holding up, as you can see there with that one. That's tremendous play there by Joey Wild.
And our videographer, Josh Northeast, showing his gross motor skills there, mate. Caught live on camera. What an incredible job he does.
5-7.
Bang. Wild down the left. Really starting to work it now. And the wind does feel like it's a little bit more consistent, pushing from the left to the right side of screen.
6-7. Point. 7-7.
Tied game.
Nice drive there from the baseline from Joey Wild.
8-7.
We're going to see a changing of ends. First to 15 in this bronze medal match. Will only be playing the one game here for this bronze medal match at the Melbourne Championships. For all those tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. We're looking forward to a great afternoon of pickleball here. Obviously, we've got the final to come in this men's singles draw, Dylan, and we're going to be seeing Tom Evans up against Jason Taylor.
That is going to be electric. Evans is just in phenomenal form for singles. Like, his singles game is, absolute insanity. And JT is like, he is just so electric at the moment. The game that he played, or the games that he played earlier today, very high energy. The wind did not seem to faze him at all. So with someone like Tom Evans, who's consistently sprinting around the court, that's going to be a thrilling game.
Well, the athleticism, dare I say, of both those players is elite. And I simply can't wait for that match to unfold because I know that for Jason Taylor, he's been putting in an incredible amount of work off court to get some results on court and making it through to the final of the Melbourne Championships. That's pretty special so far.
Yeah, I think for Tom Evans, he was really
7-8.
aiming to secure that position as the definitive #1 singles player in Australia.
Oh, what a shot there by Joey Wild. Just saw how extreme he can contort his body. He got that on the backhand side. He sent it in the opposite direction. Kenta caught completely unawares by that one.
Yeah, the hat rack. He's got all the armor edge.
8-7.
Great shot. Side out once more.
Side out.
And Wild's just pushed that one long, Dylan.
And we often talk about the rotation of sides and how it affects play. This is one of those games where I think it's really going to come to a testament to who can adapt to the conditions. As we mentioned, it was pushing left to right and still feels like it is. So for the players, they now have to play in complete
7-8.
reverse. Oh, clip the paddle. That's unfortunate for Wild.
Well, a little bit of payback maybe. Wild had one on Kenta before the change of ends there. Don't think that Kenta will be too displeased with his stroke of luck there, Dylan.
Oh, he'll take it.
Bit of work to retrieve balls at the moment, Dylan.
Hey.
Normally we have fabulous signage all around the court. Just with the windy conditions, though, we've had to put it up against the back fence. Oh, that's a great drop there. Maybe a bit of wind assistance as I speak.
Yeah, well, that's that left to right. Yeah, like Miyoshi pushed it out to the far left side, and normally that would be a far out ball, but yeah, wind saves the day. And we're back to a tied game.
9-8.
Oh, 1 point lead. Here we go. Miyoshi taking it back.
Oh, he's just missed that one. He set himself up so well. He's just having a word with himself. He had that one in the palm of his hand, Dylan.
I will say that Miyoshi's transition game seems to be a little bit on top of Joey's at the moment.
8-9.
But Joey's kitchen presence seems to be keeping him afloat.
Side out.
We are now getting to the pointy end of this match, this bronze medal match at the Melbourne
9-8.
Championships, powered by JOOLA. We're going first to 15. One game only.
Side out.
And a lot of roll on that forehand by Joey Wild at the kitchen line. Kenta went for that ball, caught the collar of his paddle, and it just went skyward there.
8-9. Side out.
And there's that transition I'm talking about. Joey taking his time, but unfortunately got himself in trouble.
9-8. Point.
That was a terrific shot there from Miyoshi. Nice controlled drive.
Ten 8.
2 point lead.
Point. Timeout call.
We have a timeout here on the side of Joey Wild. Fair enough too, considering a couple of unforced errors off of his paddle. But I think it's more for us, Adam. It feels like it's the, how do I word it? The correction to the previous shot. So in that instance there, Joey Wild hit a ball that went out, and it was then immediately followed up by a ball that hit the net. So it seems to me the players, this wind is, it's all about the wind.
Yeah, I'd say it is not so much wreaking a bit of havoc, but it is playing on the minds of both players. And now that we've seen the change of ends here, I guess the players are still trying to figure out how they want to go about actually playing and what playing style they want to bring. We haven't seen too many dinking battles where both players have been at that kitchen line, so it definitely seems like an advantage at the moment to be on the return of serve, and hence why we've seen so many side outs, Dylan. You know, with that return of serve is able to get that kitchen presence and force and keep back their opponent at the baseline. So it's been a long match so far. It is a long one too, because we are going first to 15.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what the overall strategy is from these players. You know, do you just go the classic, hit it in the middle of the court and hope it goes in? Because the wind is that crazy. As we return to court, Kenta Miyoshi to serve has a slight lead for this bronze medal.
Point. Twelve 8. Right out.
And you can see the lead has just somewhat blown out a little bit here. Not
8
by a
12.
lot, but 4 points is the biggest deficit for Joey Wild to have to chase down for the match, and that is a ripping forehand. Sensational, as our co-commentator Gordon Watson would say.
Yeah, I feel like Joey has pulled off several great drives, but it seems that a lot of his errors are coming off of more of the slower ball. I don't know, Adam. Oh, that's a terrific shot from Kenta. I feel like Joey could almost play a little bit more aggressive and just literally throw caution to the wind.
$12-9. Point.
It's probably the third time that Joey Wild has just miscalculated that one at the kitchen line, hitting the tape. I dare say there's not as much wind in play to get that shot over, so
13-9.
giving away opportunities here when he makes good court position. At the moment, he needs to tidy that up.
9-13. Out.
And that one stings. You can just see that Wild applied a bit of slice on that, and as a result, goes flying with the wind. Kenta Miyoshi really has a chance to put the pedal down.
13-9.
Oh, great put away there by Joe Wild, but Kenta continued the rally there, forced Joey to make a couple of extra shots. Some really good court position. He wants to finish this off now, Kenta, but it's just been side out here. 9-13. And that one, as you can see, the wind just carrying that one a little wide. So, mentioned before, the wind does appear to be coming from behind Kenta here on the baseline about to serve, but also a little bit across court. And the wind that time doesn't help that ball go over as he drives it into the net. Side out, important there for Joey Wild.
$9-13. Point.
Fabulous work there by Joe Wild with that backhand. He just caught Kenta out of position. Had to go a long way and eventually just dabbed that ball into the net.
Yeah, that aggressive transition from Wild, I think that's the difference. But for Kenta Miyoshi, he just keeps chipping away.
13-10.
I don't think Kenta's done anything outrageous.
13-10.
He's just played good, consistent pickleball.
And that was an aggressive moment there from Joe Wild. Maybe a bit rash, but baited Kenta and he took the bait, drove it into the net. Joe Wild back on serve now. Yeah, Kenta hasn't really had to make much of the play. I feel like at times it's been Joe Wild trying to create shots, and Kenta's just been pretty happy to get balls back in play. Joe Wild hasn't made too many mistakes, but the mistakes he has made, generally they've been point winning for Kenta.
Case in point. Kenta Miyoshi, how many points has he won where he's been at the baseline? Which we typically don't see in the Australian pickleball scene anyway for singles, but he now finds himself with a bronze medal within grasp.
14-10.
And that one goes wide there, and Kenta Miyoshi picks up the bronze medal here at the Melbourne Championships, defeating Joey Wild 15-10. Well, that was a pretty fabulous game, if I do say so myself. The windy conditions definitely played a part, but it was equal for both sides there. Kenta started a bit slower than Joey there. Joey got the first 4 points of the match, but then Kenta came back with the next 5 points. And we saw a real sort of ding-dong battle through the middle part of that game, Dylan, where there was numerous side-outs. But then eventually Kenta got the 4-point lead and he's run away with it.
Yeah, and I kind of said that earlier on in the broadcast, that I felt whoever got that first couple of points was gonna bust the lid open, and that's sort of what happened in that instance. I think this was a tale of just unforced errors, because the points that Joey won were great shots.
Yes.
Kenta didn't make the mistake, whereas there was probably 5 or so unforced errors that resulted in a point for Miyoshi, and as a result, that was the difference, quite literally on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it certainly was. Well, a fabulous run, though, from Joey Wild, but it does come to that end there, and unfortunately it doesn't end with a medal. But for Kenta Miyoshi, all the way from Japan, only got the call up we mentioned earlier 2 days ago, was on the plane ASAP, got here yesterday afternoon, was probably one of the last few players to leave the courts here after his training session, and he's already been rewarded with a bronze medal, so congratulations there to Kenta.
Yeah, welcome to Melbourne, mate. That's a good start to your campaign. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll close things down for a little bit. We do have the gold medal of the men's coming up. Jason Taylor, Tom Evans, going to be an absolute thriller. Not too far away here, live from Melbourne. We're going to go and batten down the hatches, as you can hear the wind blowing a gale as usual. But we won't be too far away here from the Melbourne Championships.